Welcome. Today we're going to do a bit of restorative work and dive into that self-care. We're going to be rolling the tension out of the body of our muscles, working from our upper body all the way down to our lower body. I'm going to use my rad roller here, but you can use any pole, rod, wooden dowel, whatever you've got. It will work. So we're going to begin in this neck area, our traps here. We're going to avoid the bony bits. We got a bony bit on our shoulder, our AC here, and then we've got some bony bits on the back of our neck right here in our cervical spine. So avoiding those and focusing in this chunk of meat right here. We're going to get a nice grip and kind of just roll it back and forth. And you can apply more pressure, less pressure. It's kind of a funky direction, so it might take you a moment to kind of figure out which direction is where. But once you get it going, just take a moment and give it a few good rolls. And I'm just going back and forth with a slight bit of pressure. And when you're ready, we're going to find our way to the other side of our neck. So again, the body of the muscle, find your grip, and give it a few good rolls. And when you're ready, come back into neutral, shake it out, whatever you need. So from here, we're going to work our way down our back, bringing the bar behind you. We've got a whole bunch of muscles in our back so that you can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm just going to roll up and down our spine here, finding a nice little pressure and finding that up and down motion. And I find that my back actually likes a lot of pressure in the muscles. Maybe you like a more gentle touch. Tune in to what you're feeling. And then once you get a nice few rolls in on an even surface, we're going to steer it to one side a bit. So now I'm going to focus on my left. And just find a few nice reps, gently working into the body of that muscle. Back here, we have our QLs and our erector spinae, holding up our spine, always bearing the weight and always doing the work. I find these are some of my favorite muscles to pay attention to. And when you're ready, let's roll it over to that right side. And just take a moment here. And then before we wrap it up here, let's even it out, going along that spine neutrally, tending to both sides. And when you're ready, we're going to start to work through our obliques here. So I'm going to hold my bar like this and just work up and down. We have our external and internal obliques over here. And if you want to kind of work it around the bend of this torso, you can work your way around that side there. And let's work our way to our left side. Paying attention to those left obliques here. Again, in neutral. And then kind of working our way around to the front body and the back body of that curve. Change the pressure as you need. This is all meant to be restorative. And from here, we're going to work our way down our arms. It's always tricky to get a nice pressure there, but we do have some nice bodies of muscle on our shoulders right here. We've got the body of our bicep right here. And we have our brachioradialis, which kind of curves over our elbow joint here. And while we don't want to be hitting these bony masses, we do have a nice chunk of muscle. So I'm going to find a nice place to grip my bar with one hand and just kind of work it over right now my deltoids. Our shoulders actually have 3 muscles. There's the side right here, and then we've got the front deltoid right here. And I'm going to work my way through the side to the back, the posterior deltoid. And we can go down to our tricep here. And if you like, you can bend your arm. Kind of go this way with it. Or keep it straight, whatever works best for you. Some of these angles can be awkward, but as we practice, we find our grip and our movement and our flow. And now I'm going to go for my brachioradialis here, this little muscle that wraps down into the forearm. And if you do a lot of forearm work, this can be pretty nice. I dabble with some flight from time to time and some handstands. In my day job, I also use my hands a lot. So I find my forearms really enjoy this. And when you're ready, maybe you want to shake it out, give it a little twirl, whatever works for you. And let's begin on our right arm. So again, at the top with our deltoids, working my way through my side here. Just finding some nice repetition up and down the body of that muscle, inviting fresh blood flow, fresh oxygen. Let's work our way to the front. It also just feels nice. And when you're ready, we're going to roll it back to that back deltoid. And let's work our way down to our triceps, which kind of take up this space on the back of our arm here. Tri, meaning 3. You have 3 heads to your muscle. There's 1, 2, and the third one is back here. 3. And then let's hit our brachioradialis on this side. And when you're ready, I realized I missed the bicep, but it's never too late to go back. And so now we're going to address the bicep here, this big body of muscle, by meaning two heads of the bicep. And we're just going to work our way into that muscle. And if you kind of rotate your wrist upward and downward, it'll help you get around the body of that muscle. And let's get the other side. So the right bicep, finding that right pressure. And then using that wrist action to access more of the muscle. And I like to think that I can already feel the circulation and the tingling and the blood flow all working for me. Maybe do a little check-in with yourself and ask yourself what you feel, what you notice. And when you're ready, shake it out if you need, give it some little twists, whatever the body is feeling. So now we're going to move our way down to the legs. We've got some big muscles in our legs. Do a lot of work with these, lots of little intricacies. So for this, be comfortable if you want to be seated on the couch, if you want to take elevation in your hips. We do not have to find that extension of the leg. If you want to put a pillow underneath your knees to support you, all we're doing is moving through the groups. Be as comfortable as you want when you do it. Okay, so let's begin on the right leg. So right here, we've got our quads. We've got four big muscles right here. And these are super easy to access. I love it. You just take your bar and you just roll it straight up and down. This is always one of my favorites. And whereas some muscle groups can be tricky to get a good press into when you're doing the work yourself, the quadriceps are very accessible and we have great leverage to really just get in there. And if you've noticed, I've started working my way to the side here. We've got a quad all right here. And I'm just rolling into it. And I'm absolutely a fan of how this feels in my quads. And I'm just kind of tilting my foot back and forth to help get in there. Now we've got our adductor group right here. So I'm just going to give my leg a little fold, maybe move that out a little so I have some space. And just roll. And I'm definitely not hitting my knee area. And when you're ready, we're going to work our way to the hamstrings. So for this, I'm just going to bring my knee up a little bit, get the bar under here, and now I'm going to be kind of pulling it towards me to get that press in. This is one of those more tricky areas, but it's doable. And I'm just kind of changing my angle just enough to change my angle on the muscles. And for the side, to get our IT band, we're just going to go horizontally up our leg. This can be a love-hate relationship for some people. And just working our way gently into the muscle. And then as you're ready, we're going to roll it down into our calves, our gastrocnemius. Our calves have two heads, the lateral and the medial. And then it goes down into what becomes our soleus right here, and then our Achilles tendon. But the majority of the muscle is going to be up here in the gastrocnemius body. So I'm just going to give it a few good rolls. And I find I enjoy the sides as well. I'm just giving my bar a little shift in that angle to get all the angles. And before moving to our other leg, we actually do have a little muscle right here. So you want to be careful because you do have a bone right here. But if you shift your fingers just outward a bit, you feel this body of muscle right here. You'll notice it particularly if you're walking uphill, lifting your toes, and it's sore the next day. This is your tibialis anterior, and it's not very big, but if you like and it feels good, you can give it a little roll right here. Being conscious of that shin bone right next to it. I can already feel my body as a whole entering a deeper state of relaxation through the process. And let's make our way over to our other leg, beginning again with the quads right here. I'm just going to find that nice push down, really working into the body of the muscle. And I'm using my foot to pivot in and out to access more of the quadriceps here. And when you're ready, we can take that bend and start getting into our adductors here. Random share. Your sartorius muscle here that goes from the top of your hip to the inner part of your knee is actually the longest muscle in your body. Right here. And when you're ready, we can change that leg to create space and start to tend to our hamstrings here. And observe how your legs are feeling. How is the body feeling? How is your mind feeling? It's always nice to have a bit of time to self and to learn how to tend to our care and our needs on a deeper level. And our physical body is a nice way to tap into our emotional and energetic body. And now I'm just kind of rolling it over to the side here for my IT band. For example, repetition is good for the nervous system and can be soothing to us. And we're just finding some gentle repetition over our muscles here, almost like a little self massage, a little act of self love for our hard work. And when you're ready, we're going to bring this bar below and tend to our calves here, rolling it all the way down and hitting that soleus. And if you want to change the angle of the bar, you can change the angle of the muscle. And I'm just rolling it from one side to the other. And when you're ready to move forward to that tibialis anterior, we can bring the bar to the top, being conscious of our shin here. And then again, just to the outside, finding that body. Let's give it a few good rolls. And when you're ready, take a moment and stop and observe. How do you feel? How is the body? Are you relaxed? Do you feel tingly and circulated? Are you calm? Where would you like to do more work? Was the pressure deep enough? And these are the things that we can dial in to better cater to what we need. And what we need is not always the same. So this practice works with any firm thing that you can push into your body. You could use a ball even, a tennis ball, or a lacrosse ball, or whatever you got, a dowel rod. Like I said, I was using this rad roller, which is great and handy, but you don't have to have it. But should you be interested in toys, it has a nice solid weight to it, and the handles have a little twirl here, so I don't have to worry about the lack of roll in the hands, for example. And then I didn't use it because people using rods don't have it at home right now, but it does actually include a little more ergonomic shape, a helix, to work into your muscles as well. And we'll dive into that at a different time. But use what you got. You don't have to have anything to practice, but you can have as much as you want. Happy self-care, y'all.